Good morning, Year 2. This is Wednesday's guided reading lesson. We're going to be reading Chapter 5 of The Frankenstein Teacher. Across the gloomy sky, some gloomy clouds were gathering. Beneath those gloomy clouds, there stood a gloomy school. In that gloomy school, there was a gloomy head's office. And in that gloomy head's office, something very, very gloomy was happening. After all, this was the gloomiest moment of the Frankenstein teacher's life. He'd tried hard to do a good job. He'd done his best to make the children like him, but their laughter kept ringing through his brain, so he had decided to give up being a teacher. "Are you sure about that?" said Mrs. Shelley, a bit surprised. The Frankenstein teacher nodded gloomily. "Oh, well," said Mrs. Shelley rather sadly, "I hope you'll stay with us for the rest of the day at least." The Frankenstein teacher trudged back to the classroom with Mrs. Shelley. Thud, thud, thud. Mrs. Shelley told Class 3F the news. "Well, Class 3F, I hope you aren't to blame for the school losing such a highly qualified teacher as Mr. Frankenstein. Teachers like him don't grow on trees, you know. They're extremely hard to find." But Class 3F weren't impressed. In fact, they couldn't see what the fuss was about. How could someone so ugly be worth having? They just wanted a new teacher, any teacher who was better looking, and who wore nice, sensible teacher clothes. The clock ticked on, and time slid past, until home time came round at last. Then, with a sigh, the Frankenstein teacher said goodbye and left. At the school gates, grown-ups were moaning and groaning, children were teasing and squeezing, babies were squalling and bawling, and right in the middle of all that sound and fury was a hamster on the run. "Look, it's Hannibal! He's escaped again!" "Quick, after him!" shouted the boy, and Class 3F gave chase. But Hannibal kept up a furious pace. He ducked and dived, he weaved and bobbed, he searched this way and that for a pair of heavy feet. And there they were, heading steadily along the other side of the street. Hannibal paused. The children were closing in on him from behind, and thoughts of road safety fled from his mind. Hannibal rushed out to follow his friend, and then with a splat, he met a swift end. Mrs. Shelley had run him over with her car. Oh no, poor Hannibal. We'll have a look at chapter 6 tomorrow, but you've got some questions to answer about chapter 5. So the first question, question 1, is a clarifying Connor question because it's asking you about the word gloomy. Now it says give 2 answers here because the word gloomy can mean different things. A sky can be gloomy, but a person can be gloomy as well. So think about the 2 different meanings gloomy could have. The next question, number 2, says why did the Frankenstein teacher give up teaching? Now that is an inferring Isabel question. You've got to think, how is he feeling? Why does he not want to be a teacher anymore? For number 3, it asks, if you were Mrs. Shelley, if you were the head teacher, what would you say to the Frankenstein teacher? The next bit is a clarifying Connor question again, because we're asking you, what does it mean? What does Mrs. Shelley mean when she says, teachers like him don't grow on trees, you know? What does that mean, that they don't grow on trees? Question number 5 says, what do you notice in this sentence? Children were teasing and squeezing. What about the word teasing and squeezing do you notice? There's a couple of options to choose from, so have a look carefully at those. For question 6, it asks you, why did Hannibal the hamster chase after the Frankenstein teacher? And then finally, we are going to do a bit of predicting for question 7. It asks, who might be able to help Hannibal the hamster after he's been run over. It gives you 4 people that we've met in this story, 4 different characters. The doctor, Mrs. Shelley, the children, or the Frankenstein teacher. So who might be able to help, and how would they help poor Hannibal, who's just been run over by a car? And we'll read the end of the story, chapter 6, tomorrow. Bye.